Actually, most people are okay with hell for Hitler. I remember one night, Rick reminded me of it on Larry King, I was on with Rabbi Kushner, who had written the book When Bad Things Happen to Good People, and the subject of hell came up, and his comment was something like, well, I know there is a hell, but God would never send anybody there, which seems a little pointless as well as untrue. And off camera, the discussion was, except Hitler. There is in the mind, certainly of Jewish people, the fact that if there is a hell, Hitler would be there, and since there was a Hitler, there ought to be a hell just for him. Most people are okay with a Hitler hell. Some people would be okay with a hell for Saddam Hussein or other massacring dictators. Certainly people would be okay with a hell for Joseph Stalin and people like him. Some people would find hell okay for mass murderers or serial killers or other committers of heinous crimes. And I would say many people would be okay with a hell for the grossly immoral. Many would be okay with a hell for the outwardly corrupt and vile and wicked who are impenitent, intractable, and irreligious. And all those people will be in hell. However, they will be the minority. They will be a small minority. Most people in hell will have been very religious. That's the stunning truth. Heaven is not for the good religious people and hell for the irreligious and bad people. Most people in heaven will be religious. All people in heaven will be religious, but in a different way. All people in heaven will have come to their true religion through faith in Jesus Christ. Most people in hell will be religious, but in a wrong way. They will have followed a religion that cannot save. The illusion is, I'm a good person. God will certainly take me to heaven. God would never send me to hell. That's what's behind this text. They all expected to go to heaven. They were good people. They were religious people. They worshiped the God of the Old Testament, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They believed in the scriptures of the Old Testament. They were looking for the Messiah. They believed in prophecy. They believed in, most of them, a coming Messiah, a coming kingdom, a new heaven and a new earth, as we heard from Randy in the last session. But they were on their way to hell. And they were being sent there by the purveyors of a very destructive, damning religion, apostate Judaism. That's why Jesus begins by saying, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. This is pretty typical for the ministry of Jesus. In fact, it's so typical that I'm currently working on another book to come out in a year or so on how Jesus dealt with false religion. In a word, how he dealt with the Pharisees or the Sadducees on some occasion. And repeatedly, in dealing with errant Judaism, he did not commend them for worshiping the true God and being good. He warned them about hell. Jesus told them in Matthew 5:22 that God was going to throw them into the fiery hell. In chapter 5, verse 29, that he would throw their whole person into hell. And he was talking to the Jewish people. To the religious leaders, he said, you are sons of hell, whose converts are double sons of hell. Matthew 23. He called these leaders serpents, vipers, who would never escape the sentence of hell. This is what is stunning about Jesus' ministry. It was the religious people that he condemned to eternal damnation. All false religion, including apostate Christless Judaism is eternally damning.